Hi, everyone. So I'm just checking in after a very long day of being with others, holding space for others, listening, and providing support for others during this really wild time that we're all experiencing individually and collectively. And so I just wanted to pop on here at the end of my day, just a few parting thoughts and some themes that we're seeing right now in the mental health world come up for people. And one of the major themes that I'm seeing this week is a sense of restlessness, right? So we've sort of settled in, we've heard the projections, we sort of have some sense of what we can expect from this time in terms of impact. And now we're sort of all in limbo, waiting for it to end, waiting for it to be over. And so a lot of people are sharing with me the frustration they're feeling, the pent up stress, confusion, energy, and that can come out in our behavior. It can come out as irritability, right? Sort of maybe losing our temper or kind of losing our cool. Um, saying things in the heat of a moment, in the heat of the moment that we might feel badly about later or regret as we turn in for the evening. And so I just wanted to talk briefly here for a minute about irritability and how can we manage that when we experience it, especially as the stress continues every day and we're all living in this restricted way. And one of the absolute most important and best ways to discharge stress that builds up in the body is through movement. So, of course, we hear this all the time. We know exercise is good for us, but really, as a way to cope with stress and to release it from the nervous system, physical activity and movement is one of the most effective ways to do that. So stress has to go somewhere. And when stress is ongoing and it builds up every day and there's no release for that stress, we end up, in these situations that we may later come to regret. And so if you imagine a balloon that I'm blowing up with air and imagining that air is the stress, uh, that balloon is eventually going to meet its threshold, right? And it's going to explode if we don't let some of that air out, if we don't find a safe, healthy way to release that air. And so we can release that air from the balloon all of a sudden, and we might see the balloon fly around the room in a really chaotic way, and we may or may never find it again. Or we can release that air in a really slow and deliberate and gradual way. And that's essentially what we want to do when we're finding a release for our stress as well. It's going to feel much better and healthier and lead to less regret if we can find ways to release our stress that don't hurt ourselves or hurt others. And so, physical activity is a wonderful way to discharge stress from the body and to help regulate the nervous system at the same time. So, consider trying to add even a tiny bit of physical activity into your day. It doesn't have to be a big commitment. It doesn't have to be something really time consuming or energy depleting. In fact, it should be energy restoring. A quick walk around the block a couple times a day, 10 push ups when we're feeling like we just really need that outlet or that release. An online yoga class, whatever helps us to feel good, because at the end of the day, we all want to be able to look back on this time and feel like we were able to manage and cope. And we also want to come out of this time, because we will come out of it, and we want to come out feeling as good as we can possibly feel. And we want to come out of it feeling strong and feeling ready for whatever is next in our lives. And so coping with irritability is something that is certainly a challenge as we're living in, these isolated situations. So I invite you to reflect on and explore ways that you can discharge your stress. What does stress discharge look like for you? And what does it look like for you to do that in a really healthy and controlled and deliberate and mindful way? And so that's it for me. I am off to kiss my kids upstairs. And I'm sorry the light is poor here in the basement, but this is where I'm camped out today. And hope everybody is safe and well. Take good care.